Hey everybody, welcome back to 2017 iCast here at Bass University TV Live. It keeps coming. We've got super talents that just keep coming right through the Bass University booth. Another friend of mine who's just lighting it up out on the Bassmaster Elites in his rookie season this year. I'm real happy to have him with me is MDJ Mark Daniels Jr. Appreciate you being here with us today.
Happy to be here, man. iCast is going on. A lot of new stuff happening. Get to catch up with some old friends like yourself.
Yeah.
Talk some fishing. It's always good.
Yeah, it's really great. We also have Mike Sininsky from Evolution Baits, one of the co-founders of the baits. We're going to be talking about one of their new baits real soon. But I want to catch up a little bit with Mark right now. And is this your first iCast, Mark?
No, I've been to a couple iCasts. Actually, this is my, I think, third iCast.
Okay.
Yeah, my first one was in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you scored any $1 million deals with new relationships since you've been here at iCast?
I'm working on them. I'm still working on them, man. I think Bass University was going to sponsor me, I think, for about 1.5, was it?
Yeah, that's, we figured we would jack it up to 1.5. You're doing so good this year. Why not?
I appreciate it, man.
Why not? But you know what? Let's talk about it, man. You and I, it was really cool. You kind of came into my radar because you're doing so good at FLW, and you were on the show
Circuit Breaker.
Circuit Breaker.
Yeah.
And we had you out. We had doing some stuff with Bass University on the water, and we got a chance to fish on the Delaware River.
Yep.
And it's such a treat because we spent that day together and gave some great seminars about some rattle trap stuff.
That's right.
Which our guys loved, by the way. And then to see you go out on the Elites, and I'm pulling for you, right? But
awesome.
I know how hard it is.
Yeah, man.
Right? You're walking face first right into a buzzsaw.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Called the Elite Tournament Trail, the Bassmaster Elite. And I was pulling for you. I was hoping, okay, well, let's see how Mark does, and you've just been steady. You've just been grabbing checks, grabbing points, and just been steady. Where are you sitting right now?
Right now, I'm in 15th overall in AOY points.
Wow.
And currently first in the Rookie of the Year points.
You are in the lead.
Yeah,
well done.
Yeah,
I'll
clap it up for myself on that. If you guys haven't noticed or seen the rookie field,
it's stout.
I mean, these guys are super, super hammers.
Yeah.
Dustin Connell, who's right behind me by just a few points, but he won one earlier this year. Jamie Hartman has several top 10 finishes already this year. Jesse Wiggins, started the year off on fire at Cherokee. I mean, these guys are the best rookie, one of the best rookie class that I could recall. Right. And I'm out there banging
on top of that. Yeah, not banging with him, but leading it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a great feeling, man.
That's impressive. And you're a little over halfway through the season.
Yep.
Right? You still got, what, three to four more events?
3 more regular season, and then, of course, the AOY championship.
Yep. And have you had an opportunity to pre-fish some of these? Have you ever been to any of these northern bodies of water?
I know, being originally a West Coast guy coming from California, that's just always one of the biggest challenges is learning the new fisheries, getting acclimated to the southern/northern style of fishing. And so when it comes to St. Lawrence River, which is where we're headed immediately following iCast, I've never been there. I didn't get an opportunity to pre-practice it, nor have I ever been there. So it's going to be my first opportunity to see that fishery, 3 days of practice, and roll. But, a lot like a lot of other events that we've had already this year, there's been 6 total tournaments on the schedule that I've never been to before. And so it's a learning experience, but it allows you to fish with an open mind.
Yeah, well, these bodies of water also have great fish populations, right?
Sure.
So a guy that's never been there before, you can get on the fish just as well as somebody that's been fishing there for 20 years.
Absolutely, and that's one of the beauties of it is I'm not going to be out there fishing history because I don't have any history. Right. So I'm not going to try to run back to that spot where I won an event or I made a top 10 or I cut a check, etc. I'm not biased to smallmouth versus largemouth. I'm out there with a total open mind, looking to discover something that's going to be productive that week.
Well, and I think, honestly, you're going to have an advantage with that when it comes to this next one coming up on the Thousand Islands because the water level is higher than anybody has ever seen it.
Wow.
It's going to radically change the patterns, right?
Absolutely.
You got more current going through. You got water that's up higher than it's ever been.
That's right.
So where guys caught them last year, not likely that they're going to be doing that same thing.
That's
you know?
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, and those are the sorts of things that allows an angler that's never been there, you know, to potentially excel. Just because I'm fishing what's in front of me, I'm fishing the moment, I'm fishing that time right then and there, and not relying on things that I've done before.
Yeah,
you know,
that's great, and that's the way you got to be.
Absolutely.
In order to win any tournament, you always got to be fishing with an open mind.
For sure.
And so you're going through here, and you're leading the rookie of the year race. Are you even thinking about that? Are you thinking about the Classic, or where's your mind?
You know,
when you go to that tournament.
My number one goal and the number one thing I said after as the season started was to make the Bassmasters Classic. Yep. You know, the championship, the mecca of bass fishing. That's where I want to be. That's been my driving motivation since day one, becoming a professional angler. With that said, you know, titles are important. They mean a lot. They stick with you forever. Of course, I would like to win the Rookie of the Year race without a shadow of a doubt. But for me, execution on a day-to-day basis is far more important than thinking about what I need to do in the end game. Because if you execute daily, the end game will be there by itself.
Boy, you said a mouthful, and that's staying focused, and that's so because you can get so caught up in it.
Absolutely.
You know, if you're thinking about winning, and you hear it all the time, like you know, I had Ott Defoe sitting here, you know, and he's leading the Angler of the Year race.
That's right.
And you know, he's not thinking about that. You know, he's thinking about it very similar to what you said. He's just thinking about catching them every day.
Yep.
That's what he feels he has to do in order to win. So he's just concentrating on every day.
Absolutely, yeah. That's I mean, and again, and Ott's he's more or less a veteran in my eyes, one of the younger veterans, but he has a lot of tournament experience. And to hear that come directly out of his mouth says a lot, you know, because he's in position to win it all. Yep. Yet he's thinking about the next bite,
right?
Versus how he's going to finish in that tournament or make it to the Classic or, you know, the Angler of the Year. You know, all that will fall in place if he continues to catch that next bass.
Right.
And that's what's most important.
That's got to be your focus.
Yeah.
Now, have you made a cut this year? Top 12 cut?
I have not. No, I've gotten kind of close a couple times. Had a few missed opportunities that may or may not have gotten me into a 12 cut. But you know, consistency for me more or less has been the recipe this year. Just staying in that top 51 and oftentimes in the top 30. You know, in that upper 3%. And that's what's led to me being in the 15th place, you know.
That's outstanding because I know guys like Jamie Hartman who has done exceptionally well at certain events and really struggled at some other events.
Right.
And you guys are at the end of the day you're
kind of like neck and
neck. You're right neck and neck. Now when you first started fishing the elites, I know you've been fishing the FLW Tour. There's a lot of big names out there on the tour where you've been successful. But was there any intimidation going out there because you're running into these guys and you know this is like the top trail everybody talks about?
Right.
You know?
I wouldn't say necessarily intimidation, but there still is a little bit of that wow factor. You know, you got to realize it wasn't too long ago I was at home watching all these guys on television. Mm-hmm. You know, Ike and Nelly included, yourself included. You know, I've been a fan of the sport all my life, and so sure. Getting out on the water, perfect example. Day one of my first Elite Series tournament, I pull into my first area to fish on Lake Cherokee, and right there across the cove is Rick Clunn. So, I mean, it's not necessarily intimidation there, but it's like, that's
how cool is
Rick
this?
Clunn. Yeah, like, wow, I'm fishing right next to Rick Clunn. Like, that was really, really cool. I've watched Rick Clunn all my entire life. And to be side by side in the same at the same level, compete at the same level with him, you know, there's something to be said about that. And so, you know, not so much intimidation, more of a fan aspect.
Right.
You know, a lot of cool things going on. You know, idling out alongside of KVD or saying what's up at the meeting to Edwin Evers, or I mean, you know, the list goes on and on. There's all these guys, these great guys that we compete against daily. But I think I cut my teeth over in FLW and kind of got the jitters and or intimidation out of my system in those earlier years over there to where now it's more, you know, more game face, get out there and catch them.
Right. Okay. Well, did you get the rookie treatment? Like did Biffle come over and just chase you out of his cove? this year?
I hadn't had that yet, man. I've been really fortunate, man, this year. I haven't had any confrontations on the water. You know, I got mutual respect for everybody on tour, regardless of who they are. I treat everybody the same, and I think that's been the case. It's been reciprocated on my end, and I haven't had any issues, man. I fished near some guys, but it's been cool so far.
Well, I hope that continues. But if it does happen, I want the video.
Oh, for sure, especially if it's biffle.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have that Garmin Verb rolling. That's for sure. Yeah.
Well, I wish you continued success, and of course we'll all be watching.
Awesome.
But,
Thank you.
But hey, we're here at iCast, right?
We are, man.
This is the industry tackle show. It's the latest and greatest, the best of everything is here. We're all seeing it for the first time, and I see something over there at the end of the table that I have never seen before, and we're about to show it to these folks here at Bass University Live. We got Mike here from Evolution Tackle, and what do we have here,
Mark? Well, I'll introduce the bait, and Mike's well more versed in all of the finer details in the bait. Of course, I could talk to you about it from a fishing aspect, but, you know, they had a bait that was an original grass burner is what it's called. And as you can see here, it's a very unique concept, man. It's a wire-through design, so this wire travels completely through this entire bait. This is an ABS composite mold here, and what's unique about it is I feel like they took 4 or 5 different baits and included it into this one bait and picked all the fine portions of that. So we'll start from top to bottom. I mean, you got a traditional style of a buzzbait here on the top half. But as you move down the bait, you got a hard body similar to a crankbait or a jerkbait with a sweet custom hand-finished paint job on this. I mean, it doesn't get any more realistic than that. Looks exactly like a shad, realistic eyes. And then they finish it off down here at the bottom with a skirt that you would typically see on a buzzbait, on a spinnerbait, on a chatterbait. So you got all these different lures kind of thrown into one melting pot to create this bad boy. And there's so many cool things about this bait. I mean, I fish a lot of buzzbaits, and one thing we all know, we miss a lot of bass when they come up and they blow up on that buzzbait.
No doubt.
Well, they've kind of solved that problem with these 2 treble hooks. We got 2 big, oversized treble hooks on here, jumbo split rings, number ones, and those bass that don't want to necessarily eat that bait, they come up and they want to slap at it.
Yeah.
Now you're putting those fish in the boat with the treble hook style bait as opposed to a blow up in a miss, and now you're looking for a follow-up bait and blah, blah, blah. Right. Those bass are now coming in the boat, and for me, fishing full-time, I need every single bite that I can get. And they've knocked it out the park with this one, and this one just so happens to be a floating version. They had an original version that's a little bit smaller. This one right here is a little larger in profile. It's called the XL. Hence the name XL, so it's the Grass Burner XL. It's about 7.5 inches in length, and it weighs about 1 ounce, but it floats. So then even when you miss the strikes on this bait, you can kill it and allow that fish to spin back around and grab that bait. And then there's several different ways that you can fish the bait.
There you go.
You can pop it. You can stop it. You can burn it. You can fish it like a prop bait. I mean, there's so many different ways to present this bait to get those strikes out of it.
Right.
And let's just face it, it's something new that these fish haven't seen. And that's always an upper edge.
And this is not looking at it and the size of this bait, I would not say that this is a limit finder bait.
No.
You're fishing for big fish with this tool.
This, you know, but I have caught some smaller fish on it. Let's not be
and that's why we still continue to make the original size, which is slightly smaller.
Which is slightly smaller. Exactly. Thank you,
so
Mike.
the big key with this bait that I definitely want to emphasize, this body's completely solid. So the body's molded over the wire. So you will not ever have to worry about this thing popping in the heat, breaking, what have you. And the wire that goes through here is completely bent. It's all one solid piece. And so obviously keeping that smaller profile, if you have a phenomenal topwater bite, if this profile is a little too big, you can switch down back to the smaller one and still get them.
Absolutely. And the floating body I like because it allows you the versatility of being slow, like slow rolling it, as opposed to like there's burning it, right? You have to vary your retrieves to figure out the way that the fish are going to want to bite it.
Absolutely.
But having the options, which you don't have with this classic buzzbait, right? You slow that down and you lose it.
Yep, that's it. Yeah,
right? It's going to go underwater
now.
Yep. Except for this one time, I did fish a tournament that was won slow rolling a buzzbait.
Really?
That's
I
ridiculous.
was gonna say underwater.
Underwater. Underwater. It's never happened before or since, but it happened.
It happened that one time.
You have those one story, one-time stories.
That's all you ever need is it happen once.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this very, very unique bait. What Evolution Baits is this in the arsenal of baits? What other categories do you guys have?
Yeah, so we actually started our company last year. So back up for a second. There's 3 partners in this company. The original gentleman who designed the bait, Brad Kowalski, he originally designed that original grass burner, the one that we were just talking about, the smaller profile. He was making it out of his garage, and we're all West Coast California guys. Everybody knows each other, and I approached him. I said, hey, you have a phenomenal idea, and I start seeing everything that he has cooking, and mad scientist, let me tell you, one of the best painters I've seen. I'm young, I'm sure, everybody's seen a lot, but this guy is one of the best painters and one of the best carvers I've seen. And so we pulled together and created this company only last April. So to be here at iCast, literally a little bit over a year later, to meet all these folks out here, to be working with Mark, who's a California native, it's really easy for us to relate, and he's a genuine guy, a great guy to work with. Everything coming together, it's a humbling experience, and it's great. And so we're this product. So this was only announced at iCast yesterday. We will be rolling it out in the fall, so for that fall time Topwater bite. And then we're planning, we have a lot of things cooking up. Unfortunately, I can't talk about it. I don't want to ruin the surprises.
Come on now. We are Bass University Live. This is where it happens, man. We get all the good stuff first.
Yeah.
They announced the FLW tournament schedule here. They announced the Bassmaster schedule here.
Right.
They really didn't. They pulled the same thing you just pulled. We can't say it just now. You got an IM question back there, Dave?
Yeah, we got a couple questions actually.
Nice.
Mark,
Yes, sir.
do you feel like growing up in the Bay has led to a lot of your success due to having a little bit of everything out there?
Yeah, I think that holds true to a lot of California anglers, not just myself. You can go get down and dirty on the California Delta, or you can go up to Lake Oroville and drop shot 4-pound test in 100 feet of water. I mean, it's all there. We got grass, we got wood, we got rocks, we got clear water, we got spotted bass, smallmouth. Very versatile. Although I took a strong liking to the California Delta, mainly because it was closest to where I grew up. So I spent a lot of time out there. But yet in itself, the California Delta is constantly changing. It's always evolving throughout the day with the tides. So you become very versatile in that regard as well. So to answer his question directly, yes.
There you go. And a question about the grass burner. What's the price point on it?
So the original grass burner dropped in price yesterday down to $19.99, and it's going. This one is replacing the old price point at $24.99, and again, it will be released in the fall, the floating version, the floating XL.
Are these hand carved?
No, we start them off as hand carved prototypes,
Okay.
and then we mold over it. So the design you see here is actually all completely made by hand. There's no computers involved or anything. So obviously we make it symmetrical and everything, but we mold over the original hand carved design. There's a master that our mad scientist Brad keeps, and we mold over it, and then we reproduce it with that ABS composite.
I got you. Well, I wish you guys all the best with, wow, it's got to be super exciting. You're here at iCast.
It is to be here with Bass University, and
Pete Glusek, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend right here.
The dean of the Bass
the dean,
University.
that's right, the dean. Don't get in trouble.
You got any IMs back there, Dave? I know you looked at me. Nope.
No, I'd show you with those two. I was just looking at you, Pete.
Anyway, let's give a little update here. And if you guys are watching all our Bass University TV subscribers, you can instant message us any questions for Mike, for Mark, for me. You can do that right now. Also, if you're not a subscriber to Bass University TV, we want to give it to you for free for 30 days. Just use the discount code BUTV30. And you can come try it out for free. You can see MDJ giving an amazing on-water seminar about how he uses a rattle trap, how he uses it in heavy cover. which is priceless stuff. And we have over almost 300 instructional seminars in our catalog that you can access at any time. And we launch 2 brand new seminars every single week. So our goal is to make every angler move to the next level. And I also want to ask everybody to take the pledge to pitch it. Take those soft plastic lures, get them in a trash can, get them in a recycling bin. Yeah, don't let them go into our lakes. We want to keep our lakes clean. We want to protect our natural resources. And we also want to, I want to recommend everybody goes and buys the TH Marine Conservation cull tags.
Yeah.
Right? Let's get away from those piercing cull tags and let's protect our fish.
Man,
absolutely.
I cannot agree with you more on that. I can't tell you how many times I catch a fish, and because of bad practice with cull clips, somebody has torn the entire jaw from the back all the way to the front, and it just blows my mind. So yeah, I also use puncture-free cull tags, and it's definitely the way to go. You definitely need to go there.
And it makes me crazy too, because you see a cull tag in the mouth of a 5-pound bass.
Exactly.
That I don't understand why an angler would do that unless. I can't imagine you're going to cull a 5-pounder. That's so rare.
It is.
So, so guys would use the cull tags and mark every single one of their fish. Don't mark them. Don't let the big ones in there. Only mark the little ones.
Exactly.
Only even use the cull tags, the non-piercing ones on your small fish. Let those big ones swim around in there. It'll help with the mortality. We don't want to kill any of these fish.
Absolutely.
We got another IM, Dave.
One last question from Mark.
All right.
Are you fishing the U.S. Open this year?
Ooh.
You know what? That's a tournament I've never fished in my life, man. Being from California,
wanted to fish that.
That's one tournament I've always wanted to fish too, man. I've never had an opportunity to do it, and of course now I live in Alabama and I travel so much, and I fish throughout the fall, early fall. This year we don't end until the end of September. I'm not gonna be there this year, but one of these years soon I will be fishing the U.S. Open. I got to get that one. That's like a bucket list tournament.
Yeah.
I got to get it. I got to get that one. So
is that on Lake Mead again?
That's on Lake Mead. Every year it's on Lake Mead.
Yeah.
Yep. Every year it is.
I had the treat to fish Lake Mead for a Bassmaster Top 100.
Oh, wow.
Back in the day,
Wow.
And my first year, actually, I went out there and we fished Lake Mead.
Wow.
And it was real crazy for me. It was like going on the surface of the moon.
Yeah, man.
You're out there in the desert fishing this lake that you can see 30 to 40 feet to the bottom.
Sweating head to toe.
Sweating head to toe. Seeing crazy desert donkeys up on the bank. And
goats and all kind of stuff.
All kinds of weird, right? Bighorn.
Yeah, it's a different world, man.
And I swear I felt like I was on the moon. It just was such a different experience. But
it is.
The cool part of it was full of fish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lake Mead was a great fish. Now, we didn't catch big ones. I think I caught 11 or 12 pounds a day.
Oh, that's a big bag.
It was.
That's a phenomenal bag for that.
You crushed them.
I'm still a little pissed that the General Larry Nixon beat me by an ounce.
Wow.
And I finished 11th place in that tournament. It was a top 10 cut
at
that time. And Larry was the last one to weigh in. And he dropped an extra ounce on the scale and sent me packing after I had drove from New Jersey all the way across the country.
Jesus, man. Wow.
Welcome to the world of top-level tournament fishing.
That's what we do.
But, yeah, that's how it rolls. But it was amazing. But maybe one day we'll fish out there.
We need to do it together.
That would be fun.
Our first time, yeah.
Is it? Yeah, that would be
first
really
time.
Cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We'll bring Mike in there with us because me and Mike been talking about.
Has Mike never fished it?
Never fished it.
That's what we need to do, man. Get all three of us.
That would be awesome.
Roll out, yeah.
Well, 2018, we're coming.
There we go.
Look out. Bass University attacks Lake Mead in the U.S. Open. But anyway, I'm going to let you go. I know we all got more iCast stuff to do. Yeah. I really appreciate both of you guys taking the time to be with us here on Bass U Live.
Anytime.
I want to wish you great success with your products. And I want to wish you great success on the Rookie of the Year race.
Thank you, Pete. I appreciate it, man.
And I hope to see you at the Classic, and I'll be watching up there at Thousand Islands. Good luck there, too.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for having us on Bass U, man. This is a great program you guys do. Total another avenue for anglers to get information and novice people to learn about the sport. This is what it's all about. This helps grow the sport. So thank you again, you, Ike, everybody that's involved, man. It's a great show.
Hey, thank you very much. And we're going to be back in just a few minutes. We're going to be talking with the folks from Pure Fishing, and we're going to be talking about soft plastic baits, fishing line, who knows what else, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You don't want to miss it. I'll be right back with some more Bass U Live. I'm Pete Kluzak. Be right back.